Hey, shalom, shalom, Shabbat shalom. You know what I'm saying? Um, shalom, shalom, Shabbat shalom. YouTube. But yeah, Shabbat shalom. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh Kai. You know, it's always good to give thanks each and every day. Straight up. Um, and if you ain't seen TK around, it's because Judah channel got flagged by Mr. Randy. You know what I'm saying? Dudes, you know what I'm saying? They always want to talk stuff, but can't, you know what I'm saying, can't handle the heat. Right? And dudes are still running from debates. So if you ain't seen Tour Nights in a minute, that's because Judah main channel got flagged. These cats is wild out here, bro. But yeah, I just wanted to get into this real quick. This Disinformation Task Force, right? This is from the government, the Judiciary House, right? .gov, right? And it says the weaponization of disinformation, pseudo experts, bureaucrats, right? But we already know they was censoring, you know what I'm saying, on platforms, right? Censoring on all pretty much social media platforms. Anybody who say anything against their agenda or whatever, right? But I mean, it should just prove it, right? And they was also censoring true information. Hold on, we're gonna get into it real quick. This ain't gonna be too long. I'm trying to do this when my son wake up. Let me see. Let's do the woke up already. Let's get it. Right. Oh, bear with me. But give me one second. But yeah, it says the weaponization of disinformation, pseudo experts, and bureaucrats, right? And how the federal government partnered with universities to censor Americans' political speech, right? So they created this thing called like the EIP, which is like a group of people pretty much, examining posts or anything about, basically things that go against their agenda pretty much. And then look, they say, following the 2016 presidential election, a sensationalized narrative emerged that foreign disinformation affected the integrity of the election. These claims, fueled by left-wing election denialism about the legitimacy of President Trump's victory, sparked a new focus on the role of social media platforms in spreading information. Disinformation. Think tanks and experts, government task forces, and university centers were formed, all to study and combat the alleged rise in alleged mis and disinformation, as the House Committee on the Judiciary and the Select Subcommittee of the Weaponization of the Federal Government, right, have shown previously. But, right? So basically, during that time, they created these groups of, it's basically the same thing as COINTELPRO, just counterintelligence, right? But we gonna show that they was censoring like true information, right? And this is First Amendment of the Constitution rightly limits the government's role in monitoring and censoring American speech. But these disinformation researchers, often funded at least in part by taxpayer dollars, were not strictly bound by the constitutional guardrails. What the federal government could not do directly, it effectively outsourced to newly emerged censorship, right? Industrial complexes, right? So pretty much, they made up their own, right? And it says, enter the Election Integrity Partnership, the EIP, a consortium of disinformation academics led by Stanford University, Stanford Internet Observatory, that work directly with the Department of Homeland Security and the Global Engagement Center, a multi-agency entity housed with the State Department to monitor and censor Americans' online speech in advance of 2020 presidential election. Right? It says created in the summer of 2020 at the request of the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. The EIP provided a way for the federal government to launder and censorship activities in hopes of bypassing both the First Amendment and the public security scrutiny, right? So I mean, we already know they were censoring Trump, and they were censoring anything. Like you can't say nothing about uh their ideals as far as the Freemasonry, the small hats. You get censored and banned. But Judah did a video on the Theosophical Society and the Owaspy cult, and the video got flagged. Right? Oh, we're gonna show that though. It says, in the lead of the 2020 election amid the COVID-19 pandemic, the American public and lawmakers debated the merits unprecedented mid-election cycle changes to the election procedures. These issues, like all contemporary discourse about questions of political import, were extensively discussed on the world's largest social media platforms, the modern town square. But as American citizens, including candidates in the elections, attempted to exercise the First Amendment right on these platforms, their constitutionally protected speech was intentionally suppressed as a consequence of the federal government direct coordination with third-party organizations, particularly universities and social media platforms. Right. So they did it to silence pretty much political speech of the opposing party. Right. But not only did they do that, they did that to other people. Right. They did that to other Americans or whatever, and other people who were speaking out, not just for politics, but true information of whatever. It says speech concerning elections, the process by which Americans select their representatives, is of course entitled to robust First Amendment protections, right? Or whatever. We're gonna keep rolling. I'm just trying to get to the important parts. It says the interim staff report details the federal government's heavy-handed involvement in the creation of the operation of the EIP, which is the assembly of the Disinformation Task Force, EIP, which facilitated the censorship of Americans' political speech in the weeks and months leading up to the 2020 election. This report also publicly reveals for the first time secret misinformation reports from the EIP's centralized reporting system, previously accessible only to select parties, including federal agencies, universities, and big tech. The committee and select subcommittee obtained the non-public records from Stanford University under the threat of contempt of Congress. These reports of alleged and disinformation were used to censor Americans engaged in core political speech in the lead up to the 2020 election, right? But it wasn't just about political speech. It was anything, right? Right. It says, as this new information reveals, and this report outlines, the federal government and universities pressure social media companies to censor true information, jokes, and political opinions. Right. Now, look, you can't even say coon. You can't even say coon no more. You get banned on Facebook for commenting. You can't even say coon anymore. You can't say nothing about small hats. Come on, man. This pressure was largely directed in a way that benefited one side of the political aisle. True information posted by Republicans and conservatives was labeled as misinformation, which while false information posted by Democrats and liberals were largely unreported and untouched by the censors. Right? Like, come on, man. We already know who fund the fact checkers. Willie Gates and George Soros. Bill Gates and George Soros. We already know who do. The small hats. The pseudoscience of disinformation is now and has always been nothing more than the political muse most frequently targeted at communities and individuals holding views contrary to the prevailing narratives, right? As far as these Owaspy cults popping up, the Pan-Africanism, this all. Come on, man, that's what it is. Counterintelligence, right? So, but the EIP's operation was straightforward. External stakeholders, including federal agencies and organizations funded by the federal government, submitted misinformation reports directly to the EIP. The EIP Misinformation Analysis next scored the internet for additional examples for censorship. If the submitted report flagged a Facebook post, for example, the EIP analysis searched for similar content on Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Reddit, and other major social media platforms. Once all the offending links were compiled, the EIP sent the most significant ones directly to big tech with specific recommendations on how the social media platforms should censor the post, right? Such as reducing the post discoverability, right? Suspending an account's ability to continue tweeting for 12 hours, monitoring monitoring if any of the tag influencer accounts retweeted in a particular user, of course, removing thousands of Americans' posts and accounts. Like, come on, man. Even the jab, you couldn't say nothing about the jab. Government agency, right? Government agency, and then you got the EIP, and then come on, man, bro. YouTube is owned by small hats. That's all you see is just nothing that's on YouTube anymore. It's just whack. Man, they got rid of all the channels who was bringing out information on the government or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You get shadow banned, all that. And where that come from? The government and the small hats. Government agencies and disinformation experts are quick to cite the need to combat foreign actors attempting to undermine American elections as a justification for the censorship regime. While foreign states do attempt to conduct influence operations, the committees and select subcommittees investigation has revealed that the true focus and purpose of the censors' election integrity work was to target the very Americans they claim to protect. Instead of targeting foreign or inauthentic accounts, the EIP targeted Americans, disproportionately candidates and commentators with conservative viewpoints, and despite its state purpose to combat disinformation, the EIP worked with social media companies to censor true information, jokes, satire, and political opinions. Like, come on, bro, this is from the government. Look, Donald Trump is first. President Donald Trump, they was removing accounts. When has a president ever been censored? Like, come on, bro. You already know what it is. Who was censored? Senator Tom. So many people don't even know. Newsmax, Babylon Bee, Candace Owens, right? An untold number of everyday Americans of political affiliation, or not of political affiliation. What was being censored? True information, jokes, and satire and political opinions. So they was putting out some bullshit, right? And it said pseudo. Pseudo is like presented to be true, but it's false. It's sham. Nigga, bogus. Right? Man, that's really all I wanted. That's really all I wanted to get at. Like, straight up. That's all it is. Man, they be censoring. So when you see Israelite channels get taken down, when you see channels that bring out information taken down or shadow banned, you know, it's the government. That's what they do. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? That's all I wanted to bring out. I think Judah channel will come back sometime soon. It's either this week. And we were supposed to have an interview on Tony Harvard, but Judah said he's not even getting back with it. So, you know what I'm saying? Somebody probably called him, you know what I'm saying, from the damn cave and was like, hey, you know, don't have tour nights on. You know what I'm saying? They're going to beat up all your Christians. And it is what it is, though. But with that, you know what I'm saying, all praise to Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? Shabbat Shalom. And these dudes are still scared to debate. You know what I'm saying? I got notes lined up for these cats. If these dudes talking about the temple is Kabbalah, okay, we gonna see. Yeah. But they will not step in the ring. How you gonna challenge somebody not step in the ring? It's because these dudes are scared and they're running. because Torah nights is the best. Shalom. Shabbat shalom.